Hello, my name's John, these are some Aeldari Exodites, and you're watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another build video. Today I am going to be making one of the Aeldari Exodites from the recent Kill Team release. I'm going to be doing a particular one today, which is the one that I like the look of the most, and that is the Leystalker, which is the guy there with the rifle. So there are a few optional bits within this, so we'll see what choices I make, if any. So let's just get started. Okay, so I am looking first for a 7, a 8 and a 9, which are all on this sprue here. Okay. So I'll do a few videos on these as I make each one. And I thought, yeah, I'll start with the one I want to do the most. And as always with my videos, they are real time, so if anything goes wrong you will see it. If I make any decisions or changes halfway through, you'll see that as well. Now the only time there's going to be an edit is if I need to let the dog out, the phone rings, or generally life gets in the way. So these are really nice models. They're sculpted really nicely. We'll see how well they go together as I build this. I wouldn't mind converting some Exodites as well as making these as standards, so we'll see exactly what kind of choices and things I have left over in this kit. I've always liked the concept of Exodites way back since the 90s when I saw the first images of them and a few conversions. Okay, so just always do a test fit, and then you realise you haven't cleaned a little bit off somewhere, so that's okay. So that's gonna go in there. Let's see how that, yeah, so that just slots in as I go. So let's glue this on, and I'm gonna glue it, knocking things off camera. I'm gonna glue this with a little bit of capillary action, as I'll get a tidier kind of seam around it, and I'm not necessarily going to get glue all over my fingers. Oops, slightly off camera there, apologies. Okay, so while that is drying a little bit, let's run some glue on the tail, which I will add a little bit by capillary, but to start with let's just stick it together. That's quite a nice size model, this. Now I have been thinking recently about videos on the channel, and for all of the people who take the time to sit down and watch it, firstly, thank you. And secondly, the videos that I do aren't going to change. I'm still going to be doing videos every Friday, but I am thinking about just making the Friday videos builds and conversions, and then if and when I make them, create other videos for different days. So separate day for painting videos, might do some lore videos, that kind of thing. Other videos that aren't necessarily Games Workshop related, but I'll see how it goes. So you may have found that I've already done another video that comes before this one, and I've already talked about that, or I don't do it for ages and I'll have forgotten that I've said this. And as with most of these videos, I'm now rambling while I put this together. That's a really nice seam work on here as well. The models have definitely evolved. Now they can use CAD in their design. Okay, so I have an optional neck that I can use now. So for now, I'm actually going to leave the optional bits off. So I'll carry on with the non-optional, or do I? So let's have a quick look on. So all the optional ones make the beast look in the same direction as the guy shooting, and I do quite like that. Might leave the arms till later, not sure. No, I'm going to make it as the instructions are. So I need neck piece number 1. So having a look through these and not seeing them as usual as I'm blindly looking through. So that is 18 there, 19, that's 20, 19's there. Okay, so it does say 1 there. I'm wondering if further at the beginning, there we go. Okay, so it is any of those can be the neck. So I will hold off for now on those optional pieces. So the arms and the neck and the head I will do later on. So let's just carry on with the rest of this body. So I'm looking for part 11 for the legs. So it's worth thinking about this when you make kits with optional parts. I've made the mistake in the past where I've just jumped straight into it, built it as the instructions say, and then realised I had options that I could have kind of gone with, but because I rushed through the instructions I kind of missed out on the chance. So I would highly recommend any optional parts to add later on. Sometimes it may be a little bit tricky to do so because of the nature of the kit, so you may have to make decisions slightly later, but before you finished the making. Okay, but for now I'm going to set that little beastie aside and I'm going to start on the character itself. So I am looking for a few parts, and whether they're on this one or this one, let's have a look. We're looking for 96 and 53, so there's 53, so let's get that. What I am interested in this kit is what bits are left over when you finished the build process. So legs wise is 84 and 83, and I'll keep looking for part 96. Let's just get there's the legs, so I need 96. Well, I'm going to make the assumptions that it's on this one because I've got the gun and the head on there. So, oh, okay. 53 is a duplicate part, so there's a few of those. Okay, there we go. So, if you're making this kit, be aware, you have duplicate parts, you're not going crazy. Okay. I need to change this scalpel blade. It's actually, that's atrocious. There we go. Okay, now I've changed my scalpel blade. I don't need to push as hard. If I do cut myself, I'll put a warning up on the video. It's happened in the past. It'll probably happen again. But for now, let's aim for a nice peaceful build without any bloodshed. Now, I do have arriving tomorrow. For me it's tomorrow, for you it will be 5 days earlier, Necromunda, the new edition, being delivered, which I am looking forward to. So I will most likely do an unboxing video of that and see if it's worth it, because with the lack of certain things in the box set, we shall see if it is actually worth it getting the box set. So if it isn't, hopefully my wasting money will mean that you don't waste money. I buy all of my hobby stuff myself. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. My little corner of the internet is far too small for that. Why the hell would anyone give me stuff? And I don't care. This is my hobby. I'm making stuff. Yeah, I'm not grumbling because I don't get given free stuff. I don't mind about that. When you're given free stuff, there's always caveats. I buy my stuff and I can give my opinion without worrying. Oop, nearly knocked my glue over there. That's a really nice sculpt, that body. Okay, so let's put that to one side as we look for the next pieces. So, looking for 99 and 85. So there is 99, and actually need the head next as well, so I'll get the head as well. So that's 99. That is the head. And might as well get the rifle at the same time. Now I'm jumping ahead of myself, so watch me forget which bits I need as I'm doing this. So let's put those to one side. I need 85. That's definitely not on this one. And it is a little holster like this, and to be honest, there it is. To be honest, they all look very similar. Right. And while I'm grabbing parts, let's find part 100, which is just there. Apologies if you can hear a fan in the background. I don't know whether it comes across on camera. Okay. Okay. Tidy all these bits up. I'm realising I've got lots and lots of model kits around me. I need to do a bit of tidying. I might do that later on once I've done this video. As it is getting difficult to see what I'm actually working on. Careful of seamless. Now I'm thinking with these Exodites, I did start a conversion a while ago for a large Exodite dragon type beast, quite a long time ago now. I'm thinking of reviving that project, which is why it'd be nice to see what parts of the kit is left over. But yeah, my Exodite army, I'm thinking some of the Dragon Riders, that conversion, and then some Rangers as well, just as it fits in lore wise. Oh, no, it's that way around. But yeah, if you've got the Exodites, what are you doing with them? Are you just making kill team? Are you making Warhammer 40,000 army? How are you using them? Are you going to convert things with them? Drop in the comments. Love to hear what people work on. Okay. Hope this has been in focus, guys. Apologies if it's jumping around. I use a little Sony camera rather than a GoPro or anything, because I take photos with it as well. Okay, there is a little nub on the bottom of the head. Normally that's something that I'd kind of cut off if I was converting and want to put the head in different positions, but I want to keep that in this position. I do like this sculpt. This is a really nice model. Okay, and that's gonna go there. So, one thing that I will mention while I'm putting this together, let's let the glue dry. Just briefly, let's have a quick look at, with the Dragon Masters, these guys just here, before you start making them, so you're aware, the Stone Singer, which is this guy here with the horns and the staff, they have to be assigned to a squad of Dragon Knights if you're using them in 40k. So beware of that. That's why I'm going to leave that one to last. I may convert some other Dragon Knights using some alternative models, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, beware of that. If you want to use that in 40k, it needs to be assigned to some Dragon Knights. Now I found that out when I was on the app putting a few bits together, and I put all of these in and it just came up saying invalid, needs to be assigned to a bodyguard unit. So it's always worth noting that, like I said, if you've got optional bits, always worth looking at them all first. Rules-based stuff, if you can have a look first, always have a look. If you're doing it for kill team, doesn't matter, you can use all of them. Okay, whoops. Okay, so before I stick this guy to the base, does it just slot on? Ooh, okay, that's sitting a little bit shit. Okay, that's a clip-on there. I am not going to glue that for now. Sorry, get focused. I'm not going to glue that for now in case I need to take them off for painting. But what I will do now is I'm going to have a look at the options for the heads and the arms. So, I'm going to talk to you as if I'm kind of you in the room, even though you can't answer me. But I think I'm going to go with what's on the instructions for this one, because I feel this riding beast, this dragon of sorts, would look in the direction its rider is firing. Okay, this is interesting. Again, is this going to need a bit of a clip in? On the instructions, these are glued together before this goes on. Have I missed something? Ah, no, okay, there we go. So it's a push in and under. There we go. Bit of capillary. So always worth dry fitting beforehand. Stands up on its own, that's always nice. Right, head wise, let's have a look at this. We've got 28, which is that bit. Then okay, 28, 28, 29, and then either, that says 37, okay, yeah, let's go with all of those bits. Okay, well, let's just move them out so we don't get the head in focus. Now I'm looking at these spare heads from these models, and they are giving me, just hold this up briefly, there you go, they're giving me that whole Skeksis vibe. I did make a start on a conversion a while ago. There's a video, if you have a look in my videos, you'll see this little idea that I had. Haven't got any further on that at the moment, but if I get more heads that would work, I may make a few Skeksis models for 40k, maybe Necromunda. That's another project. I have so many projects. It wouldn't be a hobby without a ridiculous number of projects. So this bit's interesting. This goes in the middle of the sides of the head. Some of the bits have tongues on if there is an open mouth. Other bits, like this one, are just completely closed. Sorry, my arm keeps hitting other bits of models around the place. Is that the wrong way around? That was the wrong way around. There we go. Right. Get that pinch. Make sure I don't get any glue on my fingers. It's quite... Oh, upside down. It's quite nice because it gives you a little bit of an option with where to move it. Oh, let's pinch that nose together. I may, if that separates, I may have to sprue glue that a little bit. But hey, we'll see. That's quite nice. You've got quite a bit of movement and choice with where you turn that head. Oop, as I drop it down. I haven't done any major drops. There we go. Right. So looking at, I have a choice of various different arms here. It is saying it can be any of them. Right. So I'm immediately just going to go for, let's have a look. Immediately going to go for it and then start rambling through all of them. That's okay. I'm going to have to make one and see what the position looks like on this. So let's start with part 51, and I'm going to assume, because I'm not looking at the instructions, 52 is going to be the rest of the claw. Yep. That's get that in place. Probably should have spent a bit of time cleaning that up. Never mind. Okay. Oh, done that completely off camera. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Nope. Not that one. I think I'm going to go with that one there. 47. I won't bother putting the fingers on it yet. Let's just see if this is a position that I kind of like. Yeah, that's better. That's the one. God, choices when making a model. I can't remember what part I just said. Oh, sorry, keep hitting that camera. I said 47, didn't I? Yeah, must have done. Because there's 48, and those are two little fingers. So, it's quite nice to know the amount of time it takes to make this model. So, by the time it's kind of done, if you ignore my ramblings and things like that, it's probably around half an hour at a nice steady pace to make this model. So, if you've got 3 of them to make, about an hour and a half. Fortunately, I only have half an hour right now-ish to put one together. Oops. So I will, like I said, do other videos for the other ones. Right, I need... There are no arms on that one, so let's put that one aside. What options have I got? You know what? That's what I'm going to look for. Let's go for... Actually, there's no arms on that one either. Oh no, there is. 45. I'm going to go for 45 and 46. let's do the same thing as I did before. So trim off this arm, position it in place. Yep, that's the one I want. Oh, let's just move them all to one side while I finish this off. But anyway, as I see the finish line with this build, I'm always like to hear what everyone else has been working on. Have you been building this kit? Or are you looking at other things at the moment? Always nice to hear what people are working on. Now, I know there's still some mould lines on that hand, but I'm going to leave it for a while till the glue has fully dried, because I don't want to knock those digits off. And I do realise I need the chest piece for this. So that is part 2, which they all pretty much look the same, except one doesn't have a soul stone at the bottom. I'm going to go for one with a soul stone at the bottom. There we go. Tidy that up a little. So another way I could have made these is just building all of the little dragon beasties first, but I didn't. So let's get a little bit of glue around the base here, some there. Now I am hoping over the next few weeks, as I'm on leave from work, to put together quite a few videos, which is why I'd like to do some other days rather than just Fridays, but we shall see. Anyway, there we go. That looks like I've done all the bits. So that is the Leystalker from the new Kill Team box set, and I have been impatient and not let it stick to the base. Let's just push it down on the base a little bit. There we go. So there we have the Leystalker on a little dragon mount. Anyway, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this real-time build. If you want to put any comments down below, go for it. I like having a read through those comments if people want to put them. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies.